Al Capone is widely known as a key figure in organized crime, but movies often overlook the fate of his empire and his real family after his imprisonment. In Omaha, Nebraska, a significant shift in wealth is quietly unfolding. Warren Buffett, whose fortune exceeds $150 billion, has decided to transform his three children, Susie, Howard, and Peter, into some of the most impactful philanthropists in the world. After his death, they will manage a charitable trust valued at $145 billion, taking on the responsibility of one of the largest philanthropic initiatives in history. Buffett has always been clear about his approach to inheritance. Provide his children with enough to allow them to do anything they want, but not so much that it hinders their ambition. Despite his immense wealth, Buffett leads a remarkably humble life. He often shares how he purchased his home in 1958 for $31,500, which he considers one of his best investments, even though the true value is in the memories created there. He believes that a home becomes a backdrop for priceless experiences, from neighborhood kids playing to trick-or-treaters visiting, offering joy and fulfillment that money can't buy. Buffett still resides in the same house in Omaha, eats breakfast at McDonald's daily, and drives a modest car. The groundwork for his shift toward philanthropy was set after the passing of his first wife, Susan Thompson Buffett, in 2004. She left $10 million to each of their children, which they used to establish their own charitable foundations. While Susan was the family's main philanthropist, Warren focused on growing wealth through Berkshire Hathaway. Each of the Buffett children has forged their own unique philanthropic path. Susie, 71, is deeply committed to Nebraska through her Sherwood Foundation and the Susan Thompson Buffett Foundation, where she channels more than $130 million annually into local causes, with a large portion benefiting Omaha. She emphasizes listening to the community's needs, never assuming they know what's best for others. Howard, 69, has taken his philanthropy on an international scale through his Howard G. Buffett Foundation, focusing on food security, agriculture, and conflict resolution. He has recently concentrated his efforts on aiding Ukraine, with reports indicating he has contributed $500 million through his foundation. Peter, 66, took a unique route by cashing in his inheritance from Berkshire Hathaway at 19 to pursue his passion for music. Together with his wife Jennifer, he runs the Novo Foundation, initially focused on empowering women and girls worldwide, though they now focus on community-based philanthropy in Kingston, New York. One innovative project they introduced is the creation of a local currency, Buffett Bucks, to keep money circulating within the community. In 2023, the Buffett children's philanthropic journey took a major turn. For nearly 20 years after Susan's death, Warren had directed his wealth to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He had pledged $1.5 billion to the foundation in 2006, both during his life and posthumously. True to his word, Buffett has donated stock worth $15 billion to the foundation. He has consistently encouraged fellow billionaires to commit the majority of their wealth to charitable causes, with a promise to give 5% of his Berkshire Hathaway stock to the Gates Foundation each year. In November 2023, Warren Buffett made a major announcement regarding his estate. He stated that upon his passing, almost all of his wealth would be placed into a charitable trust managed by his three children. Decisions about how to allocate these funds would require unanimous agreement among them, with the goal of distributing the money within roughly a decade. In a letter to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders, Buffett admitted that back in 2006, his children weren't ready for such a big responsibility, but he believes they are now. By June 2024, he clarified in a Wall Street Journal interview that none of his remaining fortune would go to the Gates Foundation after his death. Buffett's children have already proven themselves as philanthropists. Between 2001 and 2023, they were given nearly $7.9 billion in Berkshire Hathaway shares by their father and have donated at least $7.4 billion through their respective foundations, each giving over $2.2 billion. The Susan Thompson Buffett Foundation, named after Warren's first wife, has also contributed $8.4 billion, primarily supporting reproductive health services. According to Candid, a database of philanthropic grants, the foundation has also provided substantial funding to organizations such as Planned Parenthood, the National Abortion Federation, and Population Services International, which operates internationally. Warren Buffett has continued to donate Berkshire Hathaway stock annually to these foundations. In November 2024, he contributed close to $1.2 billion, with about $716 million going to the Susan Thompson Buffett Foundation and around $143 million each to the foundations of his 3 children. The charitable trust his children will eventually oversee is unlike anything seen before. If, for example, the Sherwood Foundation receives just 1/8 of Buffett's remaining wealth, consistent with previous giving, it would be granted more than $18 billion, potentially ranking it among the nation's 10 largest foundations. Managing such a vast sum will be no small feat. Despite differing philanthropic visions, the siblings will need to create a collaborative decision-making system that respects each of their approaches while meeting the requirement for consensus. Peter Buffett shared with the Flatwater Free Press that while they've considered a few possibilities, they keep returning to the reality that many unknowns remain and will need to be addressed when the time comes. Another notable feature of the Buffett family's giving strategy is the idea of sunsetting foundations, spending down assets over time, rather than keeping the foundations running indefinitely. This aligns with Warren Buffett's belief in avoiding generational wealth transfer. Howard Buffett's foundation has already announced it will close by the end of 2045. The other foundations haven't set end dates yet, although Susie Buffett has indicated there's no immediate plan to wind down the Sherwood Foundation. Reflecting on their future responsibilities, Howard noted that giving money away wisely is more difficult than it appears, calling it both a significant challenge and a tremendous opportunity. He fully supports his father's plan and is committed to working with his siblings to develop a thoughtful approach. Deb Love, president of the Holland Foundation, expressed confidence in their potential impact, saying she believes the Buffett siblings will do meaningful work for their community. Robert Patterson, CEO of Kids Can Community Center, added that the Sherwood Foundation's continued support will be critical as other sources of funding diminish. Howard's foundation is also likely to ramp up global humanitarian initiatives, especially in war-torn areas like Ukraine. Meanwhile, Peter's localized efforts in Kingston could provide a valuable model for community-based giving. Warren Buffett has pledged to donate 99% of his fortune either during his life or after his death. Thanks for watching. If you found this story about Warren Buffett's kids surprising or eye-opening, drop a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you live the same way if your dad was worth $100 billion? Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into money, power, and the people behind the headlines.